get real, child. Let's get real.
Hi, friends. You know, today is a cloudy day here in Dallas. So I'm kind of unique in that I measured the sun with a minute-by-minute data logger because I have a solar energy patent that's just a plain better way to do the sun, to capture the sun's energy. You know, photovoltaic sounds great, but the problem is it's instantaneous. And nobody talks about instantaneous solar radiation. You know, they talk about averages. They talk about what the peak could be under ideal circumstances. Oh, it could be 1,000 watts per square meter. It could be higher if you go up to a higher elevation, lower if you go to a lower elevation, higher at the equator where the sun is straight overhead than as you go north. So I measured the sun for a year with a minute-by-minute data logger here in Dallas area. And we found a shocking revelation that the sun has clouds come across it often that we don't perceive, because guess what, friends? God, in his amazing way, with our amazing atmosphere, has made it literally glow to illuminate us. Where I'm on the north side of this building, looking out over a wonderful park, but I'm not getting any direct sunlight. Yet if they turned off all these lights that make me bright, the room would still have light because the sky glows and transmits lights in through these big windows. So it's an amazing world we live in, but we need to get real about things. Now, I'm an inventor and an idea guy, and I'm blessed with a very rational, discerning mind. And I just hate irrational thought. And frankly, friends, I hate the idea that people say we can have reliable power from solar photovoltaic, when if you look at the graphs that are in my book, and if you go to getrealalliance.org, you can see my video documentary and get a path to order the book, which has 10 times more content than the video documentary. So I strongly encourage you to go to getrealalliance.org and buy the book so that you can learn real insights about the world and how we can live sustainably. I have a whole chapter on renewable energy. And frankly, friends, the horizontal axis wind turbines that kill the peak apex predators of the big flying birds that are so magnificent and so essential to keeping the population of mice and rats and other small destructive creatures in check, with their unique ability to soar high in the air and literally see a tiny mouse or rat scurrying for safety, and they can swoop down and grab them. So an amazing predator. If we wipe out the hawks and eagles and owls with horizontal axis wind turbines whose blades are spinning at hundreds of miles an hour, creating the impression that there's open sky for a bird to fly through, yet this blade is coming at hundreds of miles an hour. So it's like trying to cross a racetrack where the cars are going 200 miles an hour. You know, by the time you see a race car coming around the curve at the Indy 500, you don't have time to cross the track before it hits you because it's going so fast. Our reactions are meant for the natural world where things move slow. Hawks and eagles and owls take advantage of the fact that little prey animals can't move fast enough to escape their super dive from above where they can't be seen. So death from above is what the predator birds do. They swoop down in a dramatic fashion and just hammer a small animal into kind of a concussion and stun it where it can't escape. It's like hitting a cow in the head in a slaughterhouse. The cow is totally out of it and totally still, so the workers can go ahead and harvest the animal safely without fighting with a conscious animal. So the predator birds are really essential in God's wonderful system of everything being in a balance. So I'm against horizontal axis wind turbines. If you go to fullofideas.com, you can see a video about my idea of a better way to use wind to produce really reliable full-time power instead of intermittent fluctuating power. And most importantly, my invention, which may have some prior art of other people coming up with the same idea, because, good inspired inventions are oftentimes thought up by a number of people at the same time. God inspires a lot of people with key ideas. It's said that Einstein had a number of other people thinking about his theories and his ideas for a better understanding of God's universe. So we can make a big difference, friends. And I hope you'll go to fullofideas.com. Even better, if you really like my messaging and you'd like to see me have more impact, we have a GoFundMe page on fullofideas.com. Love for you to make a small contribution to give me more ammo to get more done, to give us a better future. So friends, Edmund Burke said long ago, my favorite quote, all that is needed for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. And frankly, friends, there's a lot of evil out there. I feel called to fight evil, and I need your support. I had a great talk yesterday to a group of kind of out of the box conservative people. I asked them when I first started my talk, how many of you all think climate change is an existential threat? Nobody held up their hand, but they loved my climate program because I focus on carbon sequestration instead of carbon emissions. Friends, we don't need to cut emissions to make the world carbon negative. We need to use some of my innovations and ideas and different ways of doing things and different ways of looking at reality in a very rational way. Friends, carbon is in a cycle going from sources to the air and back in to storage by photosynthesis and absorption by the ocean. But we need more photosynthesis. I'm really sorry that I have a hard time breathing. And it really, I hope, doesn't deter you from listening to my message. But looking at myself in the monitor, I'm very self-conscious of the fact that I've kind of been cursed with this breathing issue that limits my incredible flow of ideas in the most pleasant way. So normally we're going to have a guest and divide time and be able to not show me grimacing, struggling for air. But God afflicts us all with shortcomings and hazards. And I hope that you will listen to my message and not be deterred by my struggles with breathing. But all of us have barriers that humble us. And so please go to getrealliance.org, go to fullofideas.com, and support the organizations, buy the book. I'm an interesting guy. Subscribe to GetRealTV.com, where you may have seen this show. You may have seen it on YouTube. We're trying to build followers on GetRealTV.com and monthly supporters. So God has blessed me with big ideas and big inspirations and insights that most people don't have. So friends, the good news is we can make the world a better place. We can end world hunger. We can lower carbon dioxide levels to a much lower level that we optimize for peak plant growth and stability. There are a lot of lies being told and partial truths and lack of understanding. Friends, snow and ice is not melting because of air temperature. The specific heat of air is so tiny compared to solar radiation that the melting of snow and ice with air temperature is minimal compared to solar radiation. Even the reflected light off the atmosphere causes more melting than the air temperature for a degree or two change in air temperature. People carry on about, oh, it's a catastrophic thing that the global air temperature has risen. You know why CO2 levels have gone up and temperature has risen? One of the primary reasons is the tillage of the North American prairie, which started in the 1830s with the invention of John Deere's steel plow that was able to cut through the dense root structure of the tall native grass prairie that grew up to 10 feet high and sequestered a huge amount of carbon each year, putting it into the soil, building up the richest soil in the world that America has exploited and mined, losing over half of it to erosion and water taking it down the Mississippi. We all talk about the Mississippi needing to be dredged all the time. We talk about the huge amount of sediment that's gone into the ocean and the toxic algae blooms from all the fertilizer that's wastefully applied to the land and washes down into the ocean. So friends, I'm for efficiency. I'm for being good stewards of God's creation. And I hope you're going to join with me. And I hope this rambling discourse has been interesting to you. But friends, we need to get real about things. And nobody talks about how when the corn plants are growing every summer, the carbon dioxide level goes down. All the climate activists are all caring about, oh, carbon dioxide is just going up and up and up. No, friends, it goes up and down during the year, depending on the key remover of carbon dioxide from the air, which is photosynthesis. Estimates are that if we remineralize just 3% of the ocean, the carbon dioxide levels go down dramatically due to phytoplankton growth and increased food supply in the ocean, because that's the base of the ocean food chain, are the microbes. You know, the base of our food chain are microbes in the soil, where 92% of life on Earth exists underground. So we think we're a big deal, but friends, there's more microbes in a handful of handy soil than there are people on Earth. So we've got to get real about things and get humble and realize that we can make a big difference if we all pull together and get real. So check out the websites, fullofideas.com and getrealalliance.org. There's a lot of content. Join us on getrealtv.com. We need support. Friends, I'm blessed with good fortune, but I can't do it alone. I need your support desperately, because I'm so eager to fight the evil of hunger, homelessness, and all the other issues, including rampant soil loss, growing deserts, senseless paving of farmland, and all the other trends that are very ominous for truly long-term thriving by man. I'm not interested in a meager existence. I'm not interested in eating bugs. I want to enjoy good food in abundance that's healthy, mineral rich. So I've got the solutions. Friends, I've had some exciting inventions come to me. I'm super excited about God inspiring me with a new way to grind rock up so fine that it stays suspended in water like milk particles in water. You know, the milk doesn't settle out. If you get a gallon of milk, you can leave it in the refrigerator for a week and it's not like it's settled down to the bottom of the milk jar. They pasteurize it, breaking up the milk particles into particles so small they do stay suspended. Some people say that process creates unhealthy food because the fat particles are so small they go straight into your bloodstream from your stomach. I don't have a firm answer about that, but that sounds like a good theory, that we need to keep the fat in our stomach so it can be digested into a better form of energy for us. But friends, unintended consequences are rampant, and irrational thought and not thinking things through is one of man's real shortcomings that's led to so much suffering. So join with me. And I think you can tell from this short talk that I am literally full of ideas. And God has blessed me with an incredible flow of ideas and insights and words. And I'm very eager to share them with the world. I do need editing. I need a co-host. I need a lot of dynamic things to happen. I'm very eager to do interactive shows. Takes money and resources to set those up. I've now got a good path towards being able to do audience shows where we interact and talk and debate. I love good conversation. I'm not scared of talking to anybody. Somebody can tell me an irrational view and I can calmly refute that because I'm just blessed with a peace and a confidence that rational thought is undefeatable, except by insults and violence. So in many cases, we see people that are irrational being violent and burning things and hurting people and fighting. So getting aggressive is a sign of weakness intellectually, because if you're truly rational and believe the key principle of that we should all love our neighbors as ourselves, you have a peace in you that we talk about in some churches where they pray and say, may the peace that passes understanding be with you. And that's what I pray for you, friends. Life is short and we need to be at peace, happy with our role in the world, being productive to make the world a better place, loving our neighbors ourselves. And that's my core mantra. That's my basis for inventions. I don't want to invent something that's going to hurt people or make things worse. I want to treat the earth with respect. I want to treat animals with respect. And I want to treat people with respect. And I think we can end this tragedy that we have in our world where so many are really suffering in a dramatic way. So friends, join with me. Don't be like what Edmund Burke warned about and be one of the many good people that do nothing to fight evil. All you need to do to fight evil is join with me and support me and share my content and reach out and make your comments and suggestions. But don't do it from a place of ignorance before you really understand what I'm saying. So buy my book. It's available on Amazon. Gosh, it's so frustrating to have these breathing problems, friends. I just wish I was super telegenic and charismatic and had a great look on my face all the time, like some of the TV personalities. But God has cursed me with these breathing problems. So, friends, look the other way when I'm talking, when I'm grimacing, and say, gosh, it's too bad. That guy's really self-conscious of having these involuntary breathing problems. But I've got a strong message. I'm going to build up a great team and have a great telegenic co-host if I get the funds to hire that. Friends, right now, I'm really needing money to do things. So when you see this, don't just sit on your hands. Give us $10, $20 to fullofideas.com's GoFundMe page or GetRealAlliance.org's fundraising page or Get Real TV's support page. GetRealTV.com is a for-profit LLC to have total freedom to be unrestricted in attacking irrational thought. You know, many people are 501c3 charities as advocacy groups or think tanks, and as such, they're limited in their ability to attack irrational politicians. So I wanted to be free to attack irrational people in a kind, loving way, but pointing out you're just full of it. So that's why I say get real is just a way of saying you're just not rational and you've got to rethink your life. You've got to get real that God exists and you're here for a purpose, but the devil really dominates the world. And I think my view of things is a little different than what you may have heard. And I hope you're going to join GetRealTV.com and look for a lot more content that's going to be interesting and thought-provoking and hopefully entertaining, giving you hope that we can have a better world. So take care. Thank you for listening. I hope you've watched all through this, but take care and don't be idle. Fight evil in your life. Find your path. Make the world a better place. And join with me to make a big difference. You don't have to do much. You don't have to give up your job. You don't have to move to India to do missionary work. You can make a big difference just by supporting me and spreading the word about my climate program and my ability to change the way we live for the better. Friends, I'm a long-term thinker. I've been blessed with great fortune, and I know how time flies by and how much change can happen in a few years. My life is drastically different than my childhood, and I'm ready to make a difference. I want to give my children and my grandchildren a good future. I don't have grandchildren yet. You know, sadly, many young people don't feel like having a family because they've been told, oh, the climate is going to get so bad and everybody's going to die and there's not going to be food, all kinds of negativity. Friends, we got to be positive. We got to get real. So take care, and I hope that you have a great day and watch our other content. Watch my video documentary. There's a ton of good news. We're going to have a ton of programming with support. So I'm like a match. I've got the ideas, I've got the know-how, but it takes fuel or kindling to light a big fire. You can't take a match and light a log by itself. It'll just go out and burn your fingers. You've got to have some gasoline or some starter fluid or some paper that's easy to light to create that little fire that creates the big fire. So, friends, we can make a huge difference in the world with support. So join with me and share the good news that there are solutions, that we don't have to give up on modern life. We don't have to eat bugs. We don't have to quit eating beef and chicken and pork. We need to eat more grass-fed beef, You can go to my website, fullofideas.com, and see more about my innovation to go back to God's prairie grass to produce more food per acre than the grain crops that are so unhealthy for animals and people. Take care and join with me to make a difference.